I love Magic, I love Civ 6, these are my Civ 6 themed Magic fan cards. I am your gracious host, Loki the Gamer, who is always happy to demand that you kneel and subscribe and tell me what you think of all my silly cards. So let's get going with Byzantium. Byzantium has 6 cards, like always, in my little mini pack. And we have 1 legendary land, 2 leaders, and 3 unique items. That's it, so not a lot of diversity, lots of the same things. Byzantium is one of those rare civs that actually has 3 unique builds. Overview of Byzantium. Expect a lot of faith. Now, if we look at my equivalency chart here, you'll see that faith can translate into many different concepts in Magic. Here I chose life gain, so do expect some life gain, do expect also some life gain triggers to really synergize well, but there's more. I decided to turn faith, Byzantium's faith specifically, into something else. You see, in Civ 6, Byzantium, yes, makes a lot of faith, but that's because they care specifically to use that faith to convert other civs. Not to recruit heroes or you name it, all the other good stuff that you can use faith for, buying buildings, anything else. No, they specifically wanted to convert other people because they get massive bonuses for converting other players. And I use something that is a bit controversial here, because I decided to use the concept of converting other players with the creature types of their commanders. So that means, first of all, that this Byzantium mini-pack is exclusively a set that is relevant to Commander. It uses Commander in some of the cards. And yeah, basically, if your opponent has a commander that shares a creature type with your commander, the game interprets that as you've converted that player, essentially. So that's what Faith in Byzantium does. It tries to change the creature types of other creatures until their commanders match your commander's type, and therefore you've converted them, and then you have access to all of those good juicy bonuses. Now, why is it controversial? Because everything I've said is pretty decent. It's controversial because if these cards existed and people went nuts and they wanted to build a whole bunch of Civ 6 themed decks, and they played these decks against each other, well, every leader out there, with just 2 exceptions, every leader out there, every commander would share a creature type with your commander. They're all humans. You know, spoiler, every leader in the history of mankind has been a human, so they all share a creature type, so you get to use Byzantium's, you get to unlock Byzantium's convert powers for free, because you are guaranteed that your opponents will have humans. Your leader is a human, and your opponent's commanders are also humans, so you get to access those abilities without having to rely on all those abilities that I worked so hard to put in those cards to convert creatures to different types. So you don't even need those abilities. Guaranteed your opponents have your type. So it makes a lot more, those abilities make a lot more sense in the grander scheme of all of Magic, where commanders are zombies and elves and funguses and whatnot. So so if we consider these cards to be part of the grand scheme of Magic, then it's fairly balanced. Actually, you be the judge of that. So there we go. So to recap the overview of Byzantium, lots of faith, which equals to life gain and life gain triggers. Faith equals conversion. Conversion equals converting other commanders to your commander's creature type. And also expect a lot of military power, so creature boosts, things like that. And also lots of horses. So this is the start of a new horse tribal deck. potentially. Byzantium's color identity has to include white. Anyone who collects faith that much definitely has to be white. But anyone who loves war as much cannot be only white. They have to have some either red or black. I chose black in this case. So Byzantium is quite two-faced. White and black to represent their holy devotion and also their nasty warlike nature. Let's take a look at the Byzantium ability. It is called Taxis. Units receive, so there's a lot of stuff to unravel here, and that's why you'll see I made Byzantium into a modal dual-faced land. So because there's too many abilities, so I split them into two. So first of all, units receive extra combat for each holy city converted to Byzantium's religion. So there you go. So for every player that you've converted, you get military bonuses. And also Byzantium's religion is spread to nearby cities when defeating a unit belonging to an enemy civilization or city-state. So when there's fighting, you defeat a unit, immediately all the nearby cities get a boost of your religion. So these two powers synergize amazingly well together in Civ 6. I have yet to play a Byzantium game, but I know for a fact that these powers are really powerful. So you fight a lot, which helps spread your religion, and when it has spread to enough cities, now you get even more bonuses to your combat. So yes, it's a game of heavy military tactics and faith. And we're not done. The Taxis power also gives you extra great profit points. So all of those three things translate to this little modal card. There it is, Byzantium and New Rome. So there we go. They both enter tapped because they are fairly powerful, and I don't think they should be used quite so soon as when they hit the battlefield. So Byzantium, I use the Taxis name on the Byzantium side. So for a black and a white, you tap it, and until end of turn, creatures you control get +1/+1 for each commander on the battlefield that shares a creature type with the commander you control. So there you go. So let's say worst case scenario, everyone is playing a Civ 6 commander. So everyone has a human, everyone has their commanders out, and it's a 4-player game. You pay 2 mana, tap Byzantium, all of your creatures get +3/+3 until end of turn. And hey, there's more if they have partners. Many decks have 2 commanders. Well, if they both share a creature type with your commander, well, that power can go up. So more commanders means more powers. But yeah, it's costly. So 2 mana and tap this land. So essentially, you lose three potential manas. And again, if you're not all using Civ 6 cards, then you're not guaranteed that everyone on the battlefield has a human. So you might have to work. You might have to use some of the other powers that we have not yet discussed to turn them into humans. So yeah, it's not all that broken, I feel, and it taps also for a white or a black. Just like New Rome, so New Rome is also a white or a black. And whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, target creature becomes the creature type of your choice in addition to its other types until end of turn. So yeah, this reflects there's a lot of fighting going on. When your opponent's creatures die, your religion spreads. It reflects that part of the Taxis power. So yeah, so whenever opponent's creatures die, your religion spread. That means you get to turn someone else's creature into a creature of your choice until end of turn. So there you go. That kind of power allows you to quote convert other players to your religion. But it only lasts until end of turn, of course. But it's up to you to make use of that. So basically, custom spells that kills creatures, you turn their commander into a human, and then you get to benefit from a bunch of powers. Now I know you can't benefit from the Byzantium power because it's on the other side of the card, but you'll see. Basil II, the Byzantine leader, has another power that makes great use of that whole conversion aspect. So yeah, it synergizes perfectly with Basil II, but let's not jump ahead of ourselves. So we've talked about all of the aspects of the Taxis ability, except for the ability to get extra great profit points. And that is why I gave New Rome another little power. Sacrifice New Rome and tap. Create a white 0/1 legendary cleric creature token named Irenaeus. Who is that? Well, that is a great prophet that I got from the list of potential great prophets in Civ 6, so yeah, his identity doesn't matter, and I did not make him indestructible. Maybe I should have. All great people in Civ 6 are indestructible, essentially, so maybe I should have done that. I should have made him indestructible the same way I made the Arabic great person indestructible on the Arabia card, so see other videos for details. So yeah, there you go. So if you really want that cleric, I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth sacrificing a great card like New Rome just to get your 0/1 cleric, but yeah, who knows? You might want that. No one can say that I didn't include all the abilities of the Taxis power in this card. Let's move on to Basil II, and his power is called Porphyrogenitos. That thing. So it's all about cavalry. So yes, indeed, I told you that everything would have to do with horses. Here we go. We are talking about horses now. So heavy and light cavalry units do full damage against cities following the same religion as Byzantium. So there we go. His horses get extra power when fighting an enemy that follows your religion. So again, you can tell we're going to deal with converting players. And also he has a unique unit that is custom to him. But more on that later. So let's go to his card. There he is. 4 mana, so quite heavy on the colors, but still just 4 mana. 2 white, 2 black for a 5/4 human noble warrior. It's a rare card. Decent stat for only 4 mana. And there's his ability, the Porphyrogenitos. Why did I insist on pronouncing that again? I don't know. So, whenever a horse or mount you control attacks a player who controls a commander that shares a creature type with a commander you control, there's a conversion again, it gains double strike and trample until end of turn. So there you go. It really benefits you building a horse tribal deck or a mount tribal deck, because they all gain double strike fairly easily. All you need to do is to convert your opponent's commanders to your creature type. So either a human, a noble, or a warrior. So even if your opponents don't play Civ 6 leaders, there's a decent chance that they will naturally have a human, a noble, or a warrior as their commander. Those are some pretty common creature types. And if they don't, well, as you've seen with the Byzantium, with the New Rome card, I gave you ways of turning their creatures into the type that you want. And also, the game of Magic the Gathering already has a bunch of different effects that do that turn creatures to different types, that give creatures all creature types until end of turn. Typically, you do those on your own creatures, but here is a very good reason to turn your opponent's commanders to all creature type, bringing this ability online. So yeah, double strike and trample for all your horse and mounts. It's worth it. It's totally worth it to bring this online. Divine Guardian, that is the name of Basil II's agenda in Civ 6. It essentially says that Basil II likes you if you have his religion, doesn't like you if you don't have his religion, just like a Saladin, essentially. But I gave the Divine Guardian magic ability something completely different. I focused on making the card synergize with the rest of this little mini pack. So it reads, tap Basil. The next time you gain life this turn, target creature becomes the creature type of your choice in addition to its other types until end of turn. So see, he has his own built-in convert someone's commander to your creature type. But to do that, you need to, first of all, tap him, so you won't be able to use him in combat, which is a shame. He's got a nice body, 5'4", but you also need to gain life, which is fine, because gaining life is something that I always associate with faith. So Byzantium is all about faith, so you will probably have a lot of life gaining abilities in your deck. And we're not done. You see, I gave the rest of the Byzantine cards some built-in life gain abilities, so it's all very synergetic. Life gaining will allow you to turn people to your creature type, to your religion, and therefore bring all of your horse and mounts to catastrophic damage dealing disasters. So it's all very synergetic. I'm quite proud of my Byzantine pack, and let's move on to see some of these life gaining effects. The next one is the other leader. It is Theodora. So now you will notice that Theodora is white only, so she would be a bad commander in a Byzantine deck, because she wouldn't be able to use all of these black effects, all of these black cards. I think none of my Byzantine cards are pure white except for her, so she's not meant to be the commander of a Byzantine deck. Basil is meant to be the commander. But still, she has a definite strong place in the 99 of that deck, and who knows, maybe you'll get inspired to build a deck out of her that wouldn't use any of the other cards that I mentioned, but maybe you have a plan for her that involves a whole bunch of different cards. Do let me know in the comments. Let's take a look at, let's take a look at her in Civ 6 first. There she is. Her ability is Metanoia. So your holy sites provide culture in addition to, obviously, faith. And farms also provide faith, adjacency to hippodromes and holy sites. So, see, there you go. She wants you to have a lot of holy sites, bonus culture, and she wants you to have farms, and she wants you to have hippodromes, because your hippodromes will get bonus faith. So let's take a look at the card. Because her powers do mention hippodromes, I made sure that she had a power that dealt with horses and mounts, and also clerics, because of the faith aspect of her powers. So she says, let's take a look at the card itself. She cost 3, 2 whites, and a generic for a 0/5 human advisor, rare. And she says, whenever a horse, mount, or cleric you control attacks, gain 1 life. So there's the life-gaining aspect of Byzantium. So she really helps you with that. Imagine if she's on the battlefield with Basil II, your horses and your mounts are probably massive, scary beasts, double strike and trample. And when they attack, hey, bonus life. And therefore you can, if you have not used your Basil II power yet, this gives you the opportunity. So you tap Basil II, you put that ability in reserve. You attack with your horse and your mounts and your clerics, and Theodora gains you 1 life for each, and boom, Basil II's power triggers. You get to turn an opposing commander into a creature type of your choice. You get to convert him, and all of your horses and mounts become nasty, mean, and huge. So yeah, it works very well. And here's the Metanoia ability. Whenever you gain life, prevent the next X damage that would be dealt to target creature, where X is the amount of life you gained. So, in addition to gaining your life, she gets to use that life gain to protect your creatures. It's bad enough that that all your horses have double strike. If they actually get damaged, which would happen after the first strike phase of combat, well, you get to save their life with that ability. So, of course, you get to decide the target of this damage prevention when you gain the life. So, you don't know exactly for sure who is going to get damaged yet, but you have to choose the targets right there and then. So, that's so the outcome is a little bit out of your control, but it's still mighty good if you build your deck out of horses, mounts, clerics, life gain. Yeah, it's can get very nasty very fast, but also very fun. And why did I do that? Because it reflects the fact that this is a very faith and culture-based power. So faith is often, if you go back to my equivalency chart, faith, it translates to life gain, as we've said, but so does culture. Sometimes I translate culture to damage prevention. So there you go. And now we move on to the 3 unique builds. First is the Dromon. It's an artifact vehicle, so it's a ship, as you can see. In Civ 6, it is an ancient ship. It replaces the Quadrireme, I do believe, and therefore it has a range attack. And it gets a bonus for fighting naval units. So an uncommon 2/3 vehicle that costs 2. It has a crew of only 1. It has reach because of its range attack, and when this vehicle blocks or is blocked by a vehicle, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Now, I know that the Civ 6 power says when it fights a naval unit, it gets a bonus. This only says when it fights a vehicle. So, it could be fighting, I don't know, I can't think of a single vehicle right now. And I've got a vehicle deck. Anyway, it could be fighting a land-based vehicle. It could be fighting any of these racing cars from either drift, and it would still get that bonus, even though it's not a ship. Well, there you go. It's not all that logical, but of course, in many of my other little mini sets, I identified a likely seafaring vehicle by specifying blue vehicle. And I could have done that right here, but I wanted it to be a little bit more versatile than that. So I gave it that bonus when it fights any vehicle. Even though it's less logical, it's more powerful. It's a little bit more versatile. But look, it also has an adventure. Why? Why not? Because I read on the Byzantine, and they were the ones who used that nasty Greek fire weapon. So this is nothing to do with Civ 6. This is a little page out of history. So the Greek fire is an instant that costs 5, 2 black and 3 generic. So yes, this card is therefore unavailable to Theodora because it has black. So if you used her as a commander, you wouldn't be able to use that. And what it does is attacking creatures attacking you or a planeswalker you control get -3/-3 until end of turn. So it's a massive surprise board wipe against creatures that attack you. Pretty massive. -3/-3 can get rid of lots of tiny creatures. And that's why it costs 5. I think it's nice and balanced. And then it comes back as a vehicle that beats other vehicles. Let's look at Basil's unique unit. So this is specifically Basil's unit, but there's nothing to this card that makes it, that ties it to Basil, other than the fact that it too has black. So again, Theodora wouldn't be able to use it in her deck if she were a commander. The Tagma is a mounted unit that simply boosts all of your nearby units. It's that simple. And so let's take a look at the card. For 4 mana, 1 white +3, it is a 4/2 with Battlecry. That's, to me, sounds very much like a creature that boosts its friends. So there's already a magic keyword out there for that. It's Battlecry, so I decided to reuse Battlecry. I love reusing existing keywords. And you'll notice that it is a human horse knight. I always do that when when the unit is a dude on a horse. When it's a mounted unit, I respect the fact that he's a human. I respect the fact that he is, in this case, a knight. But I also respect the fact that, hey, there's a horse. Magic never does that. Magic always makes a dude on a horse an elf knight or something like that. It does not include the mount, but I like to do that. Not just because I like it, because it's essential. Since Civ 6 makes a very distinct difference between mounted units and unmounted units, my cards need to do that as well. Especially these cards right here. Byzantium cares very deeply about what is a horse and what isn't a horse. This guy, being a knight on a horse, he deserves the bonus of Basil II and everything else in this little mini pack. So that's why he is a horse. And oh look, I just felt like it, this card also has an adventure. And this is another page out of history. The Nika riots, read up on it, it's fascinating. There was a massive riots whereupon the horses of the hippodrome just trampled all over the streets. I don't remember the details, but it was a fascinating read. And therefore it is a 2-mana black sorcery. Whereupon target player loses X life and you gain X life. X is the number of horses you control. There you go. So the more horses you have, the nastier the riots, and the more life target player will lose, and then you gain life. Because the horses are happy to have trampled a bunch of people. I don't know. Don't ask too many questions. It's a fun card. And that brings us to the Hippodrome. There we go. The almighty legendary... Well, it's not a legendary card. I could have made it because that's... the Byzantine Hippodrome is indeed quite a legendary construction. But it is an aura, a land aura, like many similar improvements that can build upon the land. I made them into land auras. It costs 4, 1 white, and 3 generic. It's an uncommon. And in order for it to synergize really well with all of this, like the final nail in this very devastating coffin that is Byzantium here, Enchanted Land has tap, create a white 1/1 horse mount creature token with saddle 1. And whenever this creature attacks while saddled, you gain 1 life. So there you go, you get another horse. So that horse could end up getting double strike and trample because of Basil's power rather easily. And if you saddle it, when it attacks, you gain 1 life. Oh, don't forget that you gain 1 life because of Theodora also. So when this horse attacks while saddled, you essentially gain 2 life. So when all of your life gain triggers do trigger the life prevention of Theodora, the ability to turn a commander to your religion of Basil II. It's all synergizes, it's all very nasty. All of that with only 6 cards. So I've had a lot of fun making this Byzantine set. It's amazing how just 6 cards can make you dream about a potential commander deck that would just be tremendous fun. Too much fun? I don't know, you let me know. I'm especially worried about Basil II. Maybe I should have made him either less powerful or simply more expensive. Maybe 4 mana isn't enough. Sure, I made it very heavy on the color, so you need a lot of good mana fixing to bring him out, but yeah, he could easily come out on turn 3 or 4, so is that too soon? I don't know. So let me know what you think. And also, how would you play against him? If there really are a bunch of you who have Civ 6 decks, and you see that one has Basil II as their commander, would you hold off on casting your commander? That is a costly strategy, but it is a working strategy. If you just don't have your commander out at all, then Basil can't convert it, can't exploit the fact that your commander might already be converted, being a human and all. So yeah, you can avoid his crazy might by just holding off casting your commander. Try to deal with the Basil player first. When Basil is out of the game, then play your commander. Some decks are better than others at surviving without their commander, so that could be a strategy for you. So, thoughts on playing Basil, thoughts on playing against Basil, and also, is Theodora truly only a 99 in a Basil deck, or could she be the commander of a deck in her own right? Do let me know, and I will talk to you later for another little mini pack of 6 cards related to another Civ. Which one should I do next? Guess what? I've done them all. I just need to upload them in no particular order, but let me know which one are you very eager to see.